Good?
I'm good. Are you good?
I'm always good. All right. Welcome back to Armstrong Acres. I'm finally back in an episode again for the first time in a long time.
I'm Charlotte. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Brian.
Oh,
It's
nice to meet you.
Yeah. I've been working a lot for good reason. This episode's going to be a little bit different. This is a really special day for us. We have a big announcement to make. First, we wanted to just give a real brief recap for those that are just coming to the channel. So if you've been with us for a little while, please bear with us. We'll make this as brief as humanly possible. But Charlotte and I had a family together down in Texas. We lived together for 12 years down there.
That sounds right.
We had a successful business, a big fancy house. And then in 2021, my grandfather died. And when he died, this property behind us came up for sale. It's been in my family for something like 200 years.
Bean will be the 7th generation of your family to live here.
To live in this house. So it seemed really crazy to let the property go, even though it's in really rough shape. It was not taken care of. So we started talking and decided that we would buy it and try to restore it back to its former glory, which is what we've been doing on the channel so far. Now, one thing we haven't told everybody is when we decided to buy this, we knew that we wanted more land than what came with this property. This property really only came with about 2 to 2.5 acres. And if we were coming back here and gonna try to farm, we wanted a farm. And so before we even agreed to buy this, we got in contact with the owner of a vacant farm that is right next door. And it wasn't for sale or anything. We just reached out, told him what our plans were, asked him if he had any interest in selling. And to our shock, he agreed to it, and that was 2 years ago. We spoke, came up with an agreed price, talked through all the specifics, and from that point till now, it took 2 years to finally buy it, and we closed on it on Friday.
That's right.
So now, we are the proud owners of 2 abandoned farms. That farm has not been lived in since 1982, I believe he told me. So it has been sitting vacant for 40 years, longer than I've been alive.
When we first walked through it, it was a time capsule because all the furniture and everything was still in there. We'll take you through there today. It's not quite as much of a time capsule now because they sold a lot of the belongings in an auction, but it is still just, I don't know, it's a great little spot.
Absolutely.
Shows a lot of history just already.
Yep. So why don't we go ahead and show them the new farm?
Let's do it.
We'll take you on the arduous journey to the new farm.
Figured we'd go through the way that we...
He's walking backwards. That's what I was trying to...
All right. Oh, look at the little photographer back there. All right. Well, here she be.
And this is our new vacant farm that we bought.
So this is what you will probably hear us refer to as Doug's going forward. We have Paps and we have Doug's. I don't know how long we'll live here or how many thousands will have sunk into this place before we start just calling them our own house, but for now we've got Paps and we've got Doug's. This is Doug's.
Okay, so in my whole life, coming over to my grandfather's house and everything, this was always a vacant farm. I never knew anybody that lived here, never saw anybody over here, knew nothing about it. Turns out my mom knew the guy that owned it. He was around a bit when she was growing up here. So when we got in contact with him, we got a little bit of information on it. His great-great-grandparents bought this house in the late 1800s.
Or early 1900s. He said right around 1900.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wasn't 100% sure when the house was built. We still have to look into that. But his family lived in it, and his grandmother was the last person. She lived in it until 82 when they took her out and put her in a home because this became too much for her to keep up with.
And then his parents owned it, and they would still come.
Yes.
They didn't live in it full time, but they would come and you know, visit, like a vacation home sort of thing.
Exactly. So we got to hear a little bit about where there used to be the outhouse, when the bathroom was put in, stuff like that. But this one, I think, looks a little bit more like most people expect when they're thinking of an old farmhouse. This is more the picturesque thing that you imagine in your mind, whereas Pap's house is actually significantly older, but at that time they weren't building big giant farmhouses out in the middle of nowhere. You got just a little house with a couple of rooms, and so now we have this. And one of the things we've talked about a lot in the channel up to this point is how we've been restoring that house for Bean. And now it makes a little more sense, I think, because the plan is actually for us to fix this house, and we're gonna move in here.
As a family.
As a family, we'll raise Bean in this house, and then when she's 18, or whenever she decides what she's gonna do, the other house will become hers. So hopefully we'll be able to have a whole little family compound here. I should say, with this house, we got about 80 acres, a second house, a second barn.
40 of it is up the hill and all wooded. No utilities or anything run to it. It's never been touched.
Yep. The other, about 35 is here. It's this piece, and it goes all the way up this hill behind us. And then there's another 5 acres just on the other side of the road.
Yep.
So all said and done, we got a nice piece of land here. We got a lot to do, but we're gonna make it work.
Absolutely, we always do.
So why don't we show you guys around the house? I should say too, we haven't been in this house for a couple of months now.
No, we haven't.
So we don't even really know exactly what all's still sitting in here. I also don't know which key is the key to this. Good guess.
Wow.
First try.
Nicely done. So out here we've got a mudroom, which is awesome. I am so excited to have a mudroom. Right now you just walk in our door and you take your shoes off, and there's 47 pairs of shoes piled up there, and we can't keep it clean with the dogs and the shoes, and so I'm pumped about this. And everything you see in here, he's left for us to keep. Some of it I bought in his auction, and some of it he just left because we told him if he didn't want to move it, he could do that. So we've got this spare fridge, which is actually pretty clean, shockingly enough.
Might still work.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we'll take you in the house.
Check out these doorways up here with these windows. I love this.
Transoms? So this is the kitchen. We do have plans. It's a fairly decent sized kitchen, but we do have plans to kind of widen it out at some point. But for now, gives you a good idea. There's no cabinets. I mean, there's this pantry thing here, but that's it. So this is going to be a full start to finish redo job.
There's dishes in there too.
Yeah. Over here we have the actual pantry, which is going to be, again, huge. In Pap's house, for the year it was built, it's great. But this house is going to give us a lot more space for storage to actually keep a lot more food, a lot more stuff. It has this awesome farmhouse sink in here too. Right
now that's the only sink in the kitchen too, which Brian did try to convince me to leave that way, and there's most things I am willing to go along with. That's not one of them. I'm not coming in here to use the sink every time.
All right.
Do as you're told.
Yeah, I'm always real good at that. Stove, this is an old, I'm guessing what, like 1950s, maybe? Cooktop that I'm hoping is in good working order. And then this was the heat source for the house. At one point, they've got electric heaters in there now, but do you want to talk about this?
I mean, I'm sure back in the day there was an actual fireplace in several rooms.
Like a wood stove.
But yeah, from what Doug said, for the last many years, that was this, and there was one upstairs with the only heat source for the entire house, which, given the size of this house, means it was very cold in a lot of rooms.
I'm sure it was. Transom.
Transom.
I love those.
And then from the kitchen, you come straight into the living room. We'll show you in a second the bathroom. The only bathroom in the house is behind this door.
And then the stairs to the basement.
Basement access.
Yeah.
But this brings us straight into the living room.
We do not have the power on yet, so please do forgive our lighting situation. Gamey hiding in there.
So when they had the auction for this property, we may or may not have been having a few drinks while we were monitoring it and purchasing things. And that led to us buying a lot of crap we didn't need, but it was also, I mean, very cheap. But two of the better purchases we made were this old record player. I'm sure it's come up in other videos. I love records. I have a bunch of them. And mine's just a new version of a record player that's meant to look old. This is an actual old record player. And then Charlotte convinced me to let her buy this piano.
It was $1.
It was $1.
$1.
Which I still would not have paid until she made it make sense to me.
He has moved my piano that I got for Christmas, I think, when I was 16. It might have been my birthday. My parents can chime in. He has moved it. We moved it from my parents' house, and then we lived in 3 different houses together, and then including moving up here. And when we moved into Paps, he told me, he's like, I never want to move this piano again. And so I bought a new piano for here, so he doesn't have to. We'll just leave mine at Paps. Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Where'd you get to?
$1 well spent.
Yes, it was. Very well spent.
It's not the best playing.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to get it tuned, won't we?
So right off of the living room is the bathroom, like we said.
The bathroom was put in the 60s?
I think he said the 60s.
60s. It smells like a bathroom.
It's, for what it is, for being in an added room, it's not terribly sized. Obviously, It needs to be redone.
I don't know. I kind of like this look.
It doesn't hurt my feelings, though.
Come on in and take a look. You see the tub and the sink. So I got the tub and a nice pink sink.
Definitely 50s.
Oh yeah. There's still soap and a razor in here. Like this is.
Doug was using this every time he'd come up and clear the fields.
Yeah.
He would shower in here before he left.
So they took this room off of the parlor, went into the parlor, and that is one story that Doug told, is that his grandmother was very upset when they put this bathroom in, that she would go out and still use the outhouse and then complain that he just took her part of her parlor. So I don't know when she ever started using the bathroom, but she was not pleased with the decision.
Can I keep this?
I don't see why not.
Me and Space are gonna have this is gonna hang on my wall like this.
So this is the parlor that they took the bathroom from.
Yes. Now I can say, I don't miss much of anything from our big house in Texas. I don't miss any of the bills or any of that stuff. I don't miss having a big giant house. But the one thing I do miss is I had a den. The den was built-in bookshelves and a nice couch that I sat on. It's where I'd go to read. It had a little TV in it. I miss that.
Yeah.
That is what this is going to become. This will be my new den in this house. And one thing I'm already excited about is it has this closet that adjoins with the bathroom. So this is going to get turned into a wet bar because I know I already have plumbing on the other side. So it'll be very easy to tap into. And then I'll have a nice wet bar with my built-in bookshelves. And I get my couch back in here. And
Oh, that'd be so much fun.
Is drinking a big thing on this podcast?
No, we don't do that.
we don't do that here.
No.
So that what Bean was showing.
Yeah, you want to hold it up?
It's a replica.
Well, it's a photograph.
Yeah. 3D printed on as if it is a picture of the surface of the moon. These are craters. You can actually feel if you see.
You can.
You turn it, you can see it kind of pops off at some points. It shows the bumpiness and how it would actually affect.
And do you know why that's in here?
Because they used to be sent.
Doug's father helped map the moon. He was one of the people that helped to map the moon.
That's right.
And that's why this is probably in here.
Yep.
There you
It's
go.
gonna be mine because I'm a very good space geek.
You do love science and space, that's for sure.
From here, we can show you what used to be the front porch. It still is a front porch, but it was open. It's now enclosed. We do plan to open it back up and make a full wraparound porch on the house. But in the time being, this also could be a mud room until we get a chance to open it up.
Yeah. This is actually the front of the house. Nobody uses the front of the house because much like Pap's, well, this one's even closer to the road. So everybody comes in that kitchen door that we came in. But this one's got a door back here behind Pappy who's filming. And that's mainly that's supposed to be the front door of the house. Or into the porch, and then the front door that we came through here. Another transom window. It's gonna be dark going up this way.
Oh, this beeping.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take you upstairs.
Horror stairs. That's why I nicknamed it. It looks like it's straight out of a horror movie.
They are very narrow stairs, and it's very spider webby up here.
I feel like Chuggy's just gonna run from that corner.
Chuggy's not gonna run from that corner. Here, let's open some doors so we've got light.
Come into my room.
There are a lot of bedrooms in this house, and we don't intend to keep them all, but you know, back in the day they had lots of kids.
Yep.
So, go ahead and show them
So,
the order you want to show them in.
So this is the first bedroom. We do have plans. Right now, all these plans are tentative. They'll probably change 1,000 times. But we anticipate this will be our master bedroom. When we expand the kitchen, we'll push this wall out and make this about twice the size that it is. And then it'll be a good sized master bedroom. But for now, I mean, like Charlotte was saying, you can see you had 6 kids and you crammed them all in a little room and they took care of the farm. And that's what this house was designed for. All right, we'll take you in this one. This bedroom's interesting because it's split.
That's the split room here.
So you have one room here, and then a separate room out here. So again, all these tentative plans that will change, I'm sure, but right now, I want to turn this into a laundry room / storage room with a clothesline that'll run out to the barn. And this first room you walk into will turn into an upstairs bathroom.
Yes.
That way we'll actually have a house with 2 bathrooms. When you wake up in the middle of the night, you don't have to go all the way downstairs like we do now.
What a country.
And because they'll both be plumbed, it's just that much easier to run all the plumbing up here, and I don't have to run it a million places.
Absolutely.
Beats going to the outhouse.
Yes, it does. I agree.
One of the questions I asked Dad that he said he would keep is this little switch here. I love how tiny it is and how fun it is to use.
That's that old knob and tube wiring.
It's one of like 3 that they have still in this house, and I really want to keep it because it's so much fun.
We'll have to see if we can hook it up to regular wiring. I'm not sure if that's possible or not.
Doug did say a lot of the wiring was updated in the 70s.
Oh, that's true, he did. I forgot about that.
So it's probably just the rooms that are still knob and tube.
Yeah.
This is my room.
Yep.
I have this cute little rocking chair, which I'm probably gonna put in that corner.
Well, let's
All right,
move on.
let's go see the last 2
There's
bedrooms.
so many narrow hallways
And we come to the 4th bedroom.
Crocs.
So then this is the 4th bedroom, which I think Bean's right. We did talk about knocking this out and making her a bigger room too.
Yeah,
Because we wanted to make sure we had at least 1 guest room, which will be that one over there.
Well, I thought we were going to knock those 2 out to make a big master bedroom.
Originally, but then we decided when we were going to push the kitchen out, we just build a new room over top of the kitchen and connect those 2.
Gotcha.
That way Bean has a decent sized room,
I
we
can't
have a
keep
good
up.
sized room, and there's still room if people want to come stay with us.
Yeah.
This is the 5th and final bedroom. This is the one I figure will
There's
turn
like
into...
stuff stuck in there. Oh, don't look at that window so low.
Look, Daddy.
They just stuck it down in the wall there.
It moves
Okay.
up and down and round and round.
Yep, that's an old stroller there.
Taken off there too. So here our audio ran out of batteries. Apologies for the voiceover. We didn't realize it at the time. But here we're showing you the guest bedroom. This is going to be where our nieces and nephews will come and stay and get put to good use on the farm. Be good for us and good for them. And it's the other room that's got a closet / shelving system, which is really pretty and really unusual for this time period house. And here is the attic. They've got locking stairs. It's a good old-fashioned attic. Bean likes to think that it's haunted. Narrow, creaky stairs. There's spiders everywhere. But it is a really great size, and it takes up the whole house. There's a lot of stuff up here. There's a lot of mementos and pictures and things like that from Doug's family. So at some point, we plan to go through everything. We'll see what he's got, what he wants to keep, or what we can display because, you know, it goes with the house.
This thing you see in here was what they actually used as an indoor bathroom.
What do they call it?
I forgot what they called it, but you'd pull the top off, do your business in that little jar, and you take that jar out and you dump it.
So this is called a chamber pot. Just like Bean said, it's just a little toilet for inside.
Every room in this house had one when we first walked it.
I guess he kept a few.
Yeah. And basically everything that didn't sell, we told them, if you don't want to deal with it, just leave it, we'll deal with it.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things in here like that.
That's right.
Stairs aren't really connected, so it's like...
He's explaining why we're not going to show you the basement.
Yeah, it's a better basement than Pat's. It's not as big, but it's taller, so I can actually stand up in it.
Huh.
But the stairs aren't safe, so we'll just show that later when we get to it.
Yeah.
Here's how you know you have zero insulation.
Oh, because I can see daylight?
Because you can see the outside.
Okay, now I'll show you the part that I'm probably most excited about. This is probably on the level as a mudroom is for Charlotte. Along with this home comes a nice barn. It's in significantly better shape. It's been redone a couple of times, and it's actually, for the most part, cleaned out. So we can check this out.
Tractor.
Yes, so we've gotten a lot of comments over the last, 20 videos we've put out about, you should get equipment for this, you should, and every time I'm thinking, man, trust me, I wish.
I actually did allude to it a few weeks ago. I said that there's something coming in a few weeks that would have made this job a lot easier. And this
is it.
Is what I meant.
Now we have a bucket, so when we're doing gravel, no more shoveling 10 tons of gravel, we have a bucket. This thing actually comes with a post hole digger, so when we were digging all the post holes for the back porch,
yep,
could have used this, but we didn't own it yet. This thing is gonna make our lives so much easier. It's gonna make cleaning up the property easier. It's also, obviously, I gotta use it to clear the fields, but this is a game changer as far as trying to fix this place up.
Yeah.
With buying the property, Doug also sold us this riding mower, which we've been using. He's allowed us to use it even prior to closing. We got a nice air compressor, a log splitter, all kinds of equipment.
Yeah.
So that's gonna make this just so much better.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Now we're gonna go walk around this barn real quick. So if you come back the tractor, one of the nice things about this barn is it has drive-through on this side. So you can come in the back and go out the front up there. I don't mind backing up equipment, but it does make it nice. And they had horses from what I was told. So there are 3 horse stalls over here. We do plan to get a horse at some point. It's gonna be a while, but it is on the list. You gotta see all the new junk I have to go through, but there's some good barn beams in here, which I may be able to use on Pap's property. As well as, not only could we have dug the holes with that machine, this also came with a concrete mixer, so I wouldn't have had to rent that either. I'm gonna check out the other side. Now I have scaffolding to actually do siding.
Thank goodness, just in time.
This was another pen. And you come through here, you got your little cattle guard there on the ground. I actually did buy a lot of these tools. He had some old Craftsman woodworking tools that I bought. And then this is the big bay, which is mostly empty. So one thing I haven't gotten to show much in the channel is I actually really prefer working on cars more than I do doing a lot of this other stuff. So now with this big bay, when I want to work on a car, I don't have to lay in the dirt. I don't have to try to do it in the barn. I can pull it over here. This has wood floors. I can actually work on a car a little bit more comfortably, which would be really nice. It's kind of a thing when you drive, 40-year-old vehicles. All right, now we'll check out the loft.
This is the scary part. I'm gonna go all the way up. Then, gotta keep it right angle. And I'm up. Camera.
Go ahead.
Here we go. I got the camera. See here, we have a rope which attaches
To a pulley up there.
Yeah, it goes over here. The rings over there and back down to here. What that was used for originally is it would grab the hay bales. You'd wrap the hay bales up in that string, then in that string up there. If you pulled hard enough,
Yep. You pull them up here and
yeah, and then you just load them up there, slide them down onto here. But we're gonna hopefully clear this whole thing out and turn it into
do you remember what it's called?
a loft.
Fortress of Solitude.
Oh yeah, he wants to turn it into a fortress of solitude.
If any of you ever watched Smallville, that's the goal for this upper loft up here.
It's a corn crib.
Yep.
And there's the house. And the next thing we're going to show you are these grapevines. So this is something we've already done a little bit of research on. I'll show you at some point. We've got some video from a winery not far from here where one of my biggest concerns moving in here was what to do about this grapevine. This thing's been here 100 years. I mean, I don't know, a long, long time, and obviously not been maintained for a long time. It's Concord grapes. But it's all, there's layers and layers. It's all just grown over itself. And I'd really like to get it cleaned up and taken care of, but I have no idea how to do that. And so we went to a winery and a guy, a vineyard and winery. And the guy there that takes care of the vines told us, hack it back. I mean, so when the fall comes and these leaves fall off, I'm planning on doing a lot of chopping. So stay tuned for that one.
You want to show them how big this grapevine really is?
Yeah, so it starts down here.
Should probably walk around the center.
Oh, you want to go that way? That makes more sense, yeah. It's an old well here, right?
Yep.
So this whole U shape in here, this is all the grapevine. It actually does have a gap where you can walk through up here, but it's grown so much it's closed the gap, so you can't even. Last summer I could actually mow in here, but I cannot this summer. So, and it's got a, what is that, a butternut tree growing in here?
Probably a black walnut would be.
We should probably take care of that. This was an old smokehouse that we plan to renovate into a doghouse.
Chicken coop first.
Oh yeah, chicken coop first. I can't keep up with all the project ideas. See the grapevine, it's going up over the smokehouse. I mean, it's wild, literally wild. So. Now this you've seen, I've actually talked about this spot before. I just maybe didn't mention that we didn't quite own it yet because Socks and Oreo are buried right over here at the edge of the orchard. But this is now officially ours. These are all black walnut trees and they do produce a lot of black walnuts. That's why you see me every time I'm outside, I'm like, it's a walnut tree. They're popping up everywhere. Well, you can see why between the squirrels and all the walnuts. We've got quite a few, but most of these trees are still in pretty good shape. And I don't know, I think we're still on the fence, aren't we, about whether or not we're gonna keep them all? Because black walnut, the wood is worth a lot. The syrup is worth a lot, but from what we've talked to some people that do it, and it's a lot of work. So I don't know if it's gonna be worth it to try and do that or not, but But it's cool to have them for now and something we can plan on. It's a nice shady, pretty spot in here.
Absolutely.
I really like it.
Yeah, basically we spoke to a guy that makes maple syrup and asked him what his opinion was on making black walnut syrup. And it goes for a lot of money, but he said based on the number of trees we have, we would make next to nothing and put in a ton of work. So we either have to plant a lot more of them or change them. So we might get a price on what the wood would go for and then replant this as an actual fruit orchard at some point.
Yeah, maybe. That's a long way
useful.
down the list.
Yeah.
So we'll see how froggy we're feeling when we're 60.
Not very based on how I feel at 40. So now you guys have a little bit better understanding why we start some projects and stop, why some things take longer than others. The scope of what we're doing is easily 5 times bigger than what we've shown up till this point.
We just couldn't say anything until it was official and all the documents were signed.
Exactly. So now you know what it is that we have ahead of us. And I think, Cheryl will give a little explanation of why it is that we're...
Yeah, I mean, this is bigger than us. This was a project that we decided to take on because from everyone's best guess, this land all was originally Armstrong land. Pap's house was the original house out here. We need to do some research and find out. We don't know if by the time the Armstrongs purchased it, which wasn't long after the house was built from what I understand, if this land was all still theirs then. There's a lot of records to go through, but our best guess is all of Edie at some point was Armstrong land, and so we'd like to regather. This is historical property too, maybe George Washington walked through here, we don't know. So we want to try and gather this all back up and leave Bean with a legacy, for her and her kids. It's the way the world used to be, and I really think we'd all be a lot better off if the world went back to that.
Absolutely. As everybody has scattered over the last couple of 100 years and sold off land and moved away, we decided we're going to do the opposite. We're going to buy the land back. We're going to try to bring family back, try to get as many people here as we can, and kind of take things back to the way they used to be. And
that's right.
And leave that for Bean so she can do that for her kids and her nieces and nephews, and
absolutely,
hopefully so on and so on for another 200 years.
Absolutely, that's the goal. That's the goal for sure. So all this work we're putting in now is for future generations to have it just that much better.
Exactly.
Let's hope. So I think we can say it this week for sure. It was an expensive one.
Yes.
But
yes, it was.
We're making progress.
Yes, we are.